So many couples. The streets are dead empty when I leave. It's eerie almost, the sudden stillness. Although the town itself is instinctively aware of the wrongness it is experiencing, withdrawing into itself. I wonder truly how much the people know, how much they are willing to know. From what Aurora said, it hasn't always been this way for Lunaris, but I find it hard to imagine this before. It must have been years ago, according to what she said at August's. But all Omen and Elaine have done is confirm that there was an increase in supernatural activity, not what the enforcers here have done to combat it. Nor did their affirmation lend anything to ease the growing dread in me. The one that's been sitting like poison in the back of my mind since I first started snooping in August's office for Aya's records just a few weeks ago. Time really passes weirdly. I'm in general, but I'm still just another hunter in the end. The enforcers, the allies, the support network at my back all account for much of my success and strength. It dictates who I'm to move, act, think. And now what, if I can't even trust it to hold my weight? That I don't know the full truth is nothing new. That I'm only ever told enough to commit myself to the contract at hand is nothing new. But those deliberate acts of withholding information have always been passed off as an attempt to protect the hunters, and for the most part, that's been true. Not this time though. This is... The sound of a bird taking flight snaps me out of my thoughts. I shake my head, blink, and look up the sparse, twisting branches of the forest. Somehow, my feet have taken me here, taken me on a path I didn't know I could remember so well, actually. When I look down at the ground, I see the rock which Alkar hides his cave. He hasn't bothered to keep the trapdoor concealed, I realize as I walk around it. There, the entrance is, inviting to all. Thinking about the half-lichen, I doubt that it's true, but... Hesitantly, I kneel by it and knock. A long moment passes with no response, just as I was beginning to feel silly. It's daylight, he's probably in town. It suddenly swings up so fast it nearly hits me in the face. Alkar tilts his head, ears peaked, perked. His expression slowly morphs into a grin, if a tired one. You got a warrant? That's not what guests bring with them on a house visit, Alkar. Depends. I shift, intending to sit, since honestly, I'm not sure if he's going to let me into his house. The moment I start to, however, Alkar retreats back into the cave with a beckon. He's already gone, and if I don't follow, the trapdoor's going to fall on my knees, so I hastily follow him down. The ledge is a little difficult to walk out, but after a moment, I manage to fasten it the way I think it's supposed to be fastened. Back down. By the time I get into the cave properly, which looks like the same, with just a bunch of messy blankets and pillows on one of the benches, proof that he really did just wake up, Alkar's already across the room. I watch him throw firewood into the small stove and put a kettle to boil. What brings you here, mighty hunter? Instincts. Alkar throws me a smirk. He opens an iron chest next to the stove and pulls out a jar of something dried, then joins me by the cushions. Prying the lid open, he offers me the treat. Is this dog chow? If you're a dog, everything you eat is dog chow, so are you a dog? No mate, it's fucking candied fruits. I snort, but take a piece. So, I'm not under arrest. Nothing has been exploded in the town that I know about. You cut your feelings on something? No, I just... It is then I realize I don't know what the hell I've come to for him, really. Comfort? Going to Alkar for comfort? Not likely. Though, now that I'm here, there is something I need to tell him. The hunter you attacked, well, the one whose attack you were imprisoned for, I should say. Alkar's wolf ears immediately flattened to his head. I can sense his jaw clench, but he looked straight at me, red eyes sharp. Yeah? His name is Azazel. We found signs of him in the dungeons. Alkar inhales sharply, then sighs, the relief evident in the drop of his shoulders. But then he raises his eyebrows.
Wait, in the dungeons? The dungeons where they kept me? What did he do?
We don't know, but he was there, and I'm sure he was at the very least alive when you were taken in. Then why did they? I don't know. Alkar snorts, and this time the sound is bitter. He gets to his feet and begins to pace, tightening the bandages around his hands. You can feel his upset, the intensity of it, and under all that, brewing resentment. I can't blame him. You keep using past tenses. What happened to this Azazel bloke? I don't know either, which is the problem. Alkar pauses and looks at me in disbelief. After a moment, however, he sighs and comes back to sit down again. Guess that's why you're here. To tell you, yes.
Your employers sure like to keep shit hush-hush. Figured as much. But thanks for telling me. It's been sitting like a fucking gravestone on my mind since...
Oh,
Wow.
pot.
Well, now I feel pretty fucking bummed out, actually. I can't believe they put me through that shit for something that never even happened.
I'm sorry. This shouldn't have happened. They had no right.
They don't need rights.
Hmm.
They only needed a reason and the upper hand.
The bitter pessimism in Alkar's words sting, but I shake my head. There's right and there's wrong. They owe you an apology. We owe you an apology. Since it seems we can't find a fucking explanation for anything that's happened. Why are you sorry for something you can't control? Because I'm a hunter, just because. Alkar laughs, short and sharp, but he clasps me on the shoulder. And what you're going to do about all this, Ethan? I'll find the truth. That's all I can do, isn't it? No, that's what I must do, now that we've come that far. Then that's all I ask too. His hand closes around my wrist. I raise my eyes from the floor to look at him, and the sheer intensity with which he stares back at me, the sheer sincerity in his eyes, almost carries the force of a blow. Thank you. Oh. I venture deeper into the catacombs, the darkened tunnels becoming somewhat familiar to me now. I hear a quiet laugh, and I smile to myself as a figure appears from the shadows. That's cracking good looking. Hello, Raven. May I escort you to Lord Casimir? I mean, not that you have a choice. I'm terribly bored. I begin walking, and Raven falls to step by my side, though she walks backwards, with crimson in her eyes not leaving my face for even a second. Why are you bored? Suns up, can't do much other than annoy Finn, and now you're here to do that, I assume. Then, with a suggestive waggle of her brows. Or, you know, other stuff. The kind of stuff that involves lips and hands and... Hey! I'm just fucking with you. I wholeheartedly approve of this union. He's happier since you came to town, you know? The comment is interesting, but even more so is the flaw. Raven snorts uncomfortably and nudges me in the side. Can't be too coy about it. Not when you've picked him to... You know... Anyway, I have work to do, vampires to see. I hope that emphasis on work is a sufficient reminder, despite that my future company will be pleasant to have. She snorts again and is quickly becoming a familiar sound. He works too much. All of you do. Then she skids to a stop in front of me as we reach Finn's door, hand raised. Listen, I just want you to know that we have your back. Not that Finn wouldn't have already told you that, but it's important to me that you know. The way she looks at me tells me I can believe her, that Raven is loyal to a fault, and that I am lucky to have such allies. Thank you, Raven. I appreciate that. Sweet. Now go. Do your boring important people stuff, I guess. I try not to interrupt. In a flash, she's gone, absorbed by the darkness. The door to Finn's room opens with a quiet creak before I can raise my fist to knock, and he greets me with a smile. Afternoon. He reaches for me, taking my hand and pressing a kiss to my knuckles before tugging me inside. The door closes softly behind me with a click. Raven lurking. She didn't bother you, did she? I shake my head as he laces our fingers together, his other hand coming to rest upon my waist. She was fine, if not a little strange. He tilts his head this way and that, feigning tossing around a deep thought in his mind before grinning. Get used to that. Strange as a specialty. We should discuss Fiero. Discuss what Pipe and I found down there. His expression neutralizes, his posture becoming tense. Yeah, we should. Some concerns, as I'm sure you do. What could they want with his blood, Finn? I'm no expert, but if I'm not mistaken, vampire blood can be harmful to anyone that isn't of your kind. He stares off into the distance for a moment. The look is pensive, as if he's considering his next words very carefully.
What do you know of your initiation? Of what they put you through when you're chosen?
Ha. I open my mouth to respond, but I find myself having nothing to say. I remember little of what happened back when I was just a child, back when I first arrived at the academy. I remember waking up and feeling different, feeling strong. I frown, frustrated that I can't recall such a pivotal moment in my life, the moment that quite literally made me who I am. I can feel him watching me carefully, and when I meet his gaze, his eyes are sad.
I know little of what they did to make you the way you are, but I've been around long enough to hear rumors. Nothing about what's happening here adds up. Of that much I'm sure. The only person who has answers is Harry, but we can't even trust the man who swore to lead and protect you.
Not at all. If they are taking Fiero's blood, it's not with good intentions. Vampire blood can be incredibly dangerous if used with malicious intent. We need to get him out of there. I search my brain for ideas, solutions, anything. The silence we stand in is heavy with our contemplation, and something hits me. When I first encountered the creature, it almost felt like I'd been thralled. As if it had compelled you to freeze. It manipulated you. Manipulated. Then something clicks. Fiero is an empath, right? He can both feel emotion and manipulate it. Yes, and he's incredibly powerful. Levi wouldn't have looked at him twice if he wasn't different. There are other vampires that have such abilities, even I can influence people's thoughts, but not to the extent he can. I think about the implications of that kind of power falling into the wrong hands. They leave me feeling laden in place. Can these abilities be transferred, say, through consuming blood? I can't say I've ever heard of such a thing being done, but it's certainly not impossible. That creature, if it has been given his blood, why? What could that possibly achieve? I take a deep breath, trying to gather my thoughts. Already they are heavy in my mind at what this might mean. Something new, something powerful. The rumors you've heard about the initiation, can you tell me? He gripped the edge of his desk, the wood creaking beneath his fingertips.
There are many things about the agency's practices that I've heard over the centuries. None of them are particularly kind, but most sound too far-fetched to be plausible. My personal favorite is that hunters grow on trees. Were you grown on a tree?
I laugh, rolling my eyes. Point taken. Not all of them are exactly sane rumors then. No, but with everything that's been going on around here lately, stranger things have happened. I process everything as best as I can on such little sleep, yet again, feeling out of my depth, but somehow closer to the truth. Our priority is getting Fiero out of there, but we also have other concerns to attend to. I can have the clan work on an extraction plan. Now we know exactly where he is. Leave that to us. At least there's one less thing for you to worry about, right? Though I could use your help enlisting Merriman to assist. We could do with someone on your side. Consider it done. I look at him, and even though all of his doubt and uncertainty, I feel safe. He reaches for me again, and I go willingly, winding my arms around his neck, smiling when he leans in to run his cold nose along my jaw. We are unstoppable, remember. I shiver against him, and he holds me that little bit tighter, strong arms encircling my waist. I remember.
You're amazing, and whatever that thing is, It has a world of pain coming its way.
I run a hand through his hair, letting the soft obsidian strands twine about my fingers. He hums, his eyes fluttering closed. Then he kisses me. The cool press of his lips against my own is the only reassurance I ever need. The feel of his body so strong against mine, all I ever want. He gently walks me backward until I'm crowded against the door, and I smile against his lips as his hands begin to wander. He pulls back to look at me with a sharp inhale, eyes dark, lips parted.
If you have somewhere to be, I suggest you leave now before I can't find the strength to tear myself away.
As much as I'd love to forget my duties, he steps away, straightening his clothes with a sly smile when I fail to respond. Go. I've been around long enough. It's not like I'm going anywhere. I gather my wits, my heart once again slowing to its resting pace. I need to go see Ezra about our demon friends. Finn reaches out to adjust my rumpled shirt, surveying me with a satisfied nod. A perfect way to spend your day, I'm sure. He opens the door for me, leaning at the frame as I step out into the cold hallway. Stay safe, Ethan. I'll be thinking of you, as always. The shop is busy when I arrive, but Ezra does an excellent job of remaining professional when he spots me. I linger in the corner where he rings up his final customers, surveying the volumes upon volumes of magical literature he has on display. The sleepy white cat from before is curled up on the countertop, and she lazily raises her head when I approach at the bell signals that the final customer has left. Her eyes glow a vivid aquamarine, and she's totally unlike any feline I've seen before. Her name is Coco. He scratches her chin, and she purrs her thanks before gracefully jumping down, heading for the back room with a swish of her tail. She's got a bit of an attitude problem. I think I've spoiled her a little too much. How long have you had her? His mouth twists to the side while he thinks. She followed me home one night when I was a child, maybe 10, 11 years ago. She's not exactly a normal cat, but I've never really bothered to find out what she might be, or where she's from. She's just Coco. We all value her privacy.
What can I do for you? Is it about the tall, blonde, utterly terrifying woman you sent my way last night?
I grimace, taking a deep breath. My mind is once again overflowing with revelations, new information I've barely had time to process. Sorry about that, but no. I had a chat with our demon friends. I study his expression carefully, but I see nothing to indicate that he has any idea what I'm about to say. And how adept are you at closing hell portals? What? I almost can't help but laugh at the way his eyes widen. Then a flick of realization, his shoulders sinking under the weight of it.
Oh no, I can't believe I didn't think to check. I've been so caught up with everything else that I just... Fuck!
He's obviously distressed that such a thing could fly under his radar, and I gather that Ezra has quickly put the puzzle pieces together. Ezra isn't stupid, he knows what this means, what the tear between realms has brought upon this town. We can, and we will, fix this. There must be a spell, a ritual. He clears his throat, snapping himself from his daze.
Yes, I mean, there will be, not that I'm familiar. It will require a great deal of research, and I doubt I'll be able to do that alone.
August? He smiles.
August is very powerful, as I'm sure you can already tell. So, with their help, hopefully it's something we can achieve.
I'm kinda confused that no one ever thought about maybe investigating this. Really weird. I don't doubt either of you for a second. I look at him as he processes all of this, his fingers visibly twitching at his side, eyes flicking to the endless rows of books that line his walls. Ezra, I know you can do this. Please don't worry. He offers me a smile, but it's a sorry thing. Timid, almost.
I'm glad that you have some faith in me, at least. I'm just so angry with myself. I was the first person Omen found when he arrived. I should have known.
Yeah, maybe. I tended to his wounds, saw the markings. I should have checked. Markings? I think back to the old way that Omen rubbed his neck. Demons from other realms often have a sigil or rune that grants them access to their home, so it would make sense for him to have one, I suppose. But healed? To what extent did Omen go to? You should ask Omen, it isn't my place. Of course, but I think you can give yourself a pass on this one. It isn't exactly common to have a Prince of Hell stumble into your shop, is it? It takes a moment, but a small smile crosses his lips.
I appreciate the faith you show in me. I'll try my best. Anything to keep the town safe.
Now, do you want to tell August or shall I? The very loud burst of laughter tells me I might be the one tasked with such a pleasant conversation. Excellent. How fun. Piper opens the door with a smile as I advance to the next stop on my tour. Afternoon. Just gonna stand there or what? I roll my eyes, kicking off my boots as I enter. We take a seat upon the sofa, Piper tucking her feet beneath her, relaxed in her surroundings. I still really like how this room looks, or this apartment, because it's just so warm and alive. I had an eventful evening. She sits a little straighter, eyebrow quirked in interest. Oh yeah? Yes, with your favorite cultist actually. The noise that she makes is interesting. Her. Awful for you, my sympathies. Rather you than me though, I suppose. What gives? Oh, you know, the usual. Just her making friends with the thing that's terrorizing us. Normal cultist stuff. I wish I could say I'm surprised. Was it at least a productive conversation? Yes, it helped, which is better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. I take a deep breath, considering my next words carefully. We should talk about Aya, about what we found down there. Her shoulders slump, and she averts her gaze, her eyes sad. Yes, I haven't stopped thinking about it at all. Fiero, Aya, everything.
How can we work for people who do that? Who forge records, who imprison their own for nothing?
Aya's innocent, that much I know. And Azazel, he's down there because he supposedly got attacked. It continues to make no fucking sense. I agree with her, but we have little time for frustration. We have to begin acting. Now. The clan are preparing to get Fiero out of the dungeons. We can't leave him in there, not now we know what they're doing. Finn was wondering if you'd mind assisting them. Taking quite a shiny to Lord Casimir, haven't you? I open my mouth to respond, thinking better of it when a smile widens. He's a good guy, I'm happy for you. And yes, I'll help. Of course I will. Anything to stick it to those asshole enforcers. I feel a little stupid for having such an idea, but after what Finn told me about the blood, I can't get it out of my mind. When I encountered the creature, it was almost as if it had thralled me, like it sapped away all of my free will. Piper frowns, shifting a little closer, waiting for me to continue. What if they are talking Fiero's blood to give to this creature? To make it stronger, better? She takes a while to respond.
If they are, why? Why would they need to mess around with the things we're supposed to be killing? Our purpose is to rid the planet of those things, not to make them stronger.
She's right. It makes no sense. I don't know if it's maybe something about the initiation. We found out a little bit. We need to figure out the endgame, and fast. I pause, watching her carefully. She looks so tired. How are you doing after all of this? She has a quiet little laugh, shrugging. I don't really know.
Before all of this, I was just angry. Angry that I got punished for caring too much, which isn't something I ever really did before. Now I just feel numb.
It's going to be okay, Piper. It has to be. Right. How can it possibly get any fucking worse? I grimace, and Piper laughs. Don't say that. Now we're really fucked. With a groan, I reluctantly tear myself from the comfort of her sofa. The mere thought of dragging myself across the street to the wharf makes me want to weep, but I really check in with August. I need to go and, well, visit our dear enforcer. Have fun with that, I suppose. She crinkles her nose in disgust, and I can't help but laugh at the expression. Thanks a bunch. I head for the door, turning to look at her one last time when she yells, "Wouldn't wanna be ya!" Wow, thanks, Piper. In the aftermath of what we learned, August and Ezra were quick to action, gathering supplies and the instruments required to perform the spell. That was the first day. Then time stretched on. 1 day, 2 days, 4, a week. Knowing that everything was leading up to this moment and that it might not even work was stressful, to say the least. What if they couldn't close it? What if the creature's still that strong without this unseen force feeding it? Those worries lingered, but I found ways to distract myself. Maybe Finn. I hunted nightly. I spent time training with Piper, studying with August. It was also Finn. Aha. Stolen moments with him amongst all the chaos, moments that only solidified my feelings for him. Then a knock at my door one night. The news I've been waiting for.